Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Captain America issue 28. And I enjoyed this issue. We got more of an idea of the Red Skull's kind of overall plan and kind of what he's using to accomplish that plan, while seeing how Sin and Alexa are trying to kind of help him out with that, while Steve and the rest of them are trying to kind of come to terms with it. And we'll kind of have to see because this run will be ending at issue 30. So they're going to have to do a little bit of a faster pace kind of work to kind of get to the end. So we'll have to see how that kind of pans out. So we start off and we see that Sin is pretty much sent to create a skeleton crew. And of course, Alexa is trying to get Sin to understand kind of what her role is in these things that they're trying to attempt. As this one dude's like, oh, look, they sent the skirt in, and Sin pretty much beats the shit out of him and says, like, no, I'm here to do my work. You answer to me, you do what I tell you to, and kills the dude, and she's like, my dance card's pretty much never full, so it's like, okay, watch your ass with her. Because Alexa's like, okay, you have to like acclimate to this world of like troglodytes and brutes. It's like interesting to see how they view other people in this world. They don't try and help these people, they just try and use them for their own ends and means. We then also see that Cap is at a hospital that's dealing with what happened at the rallies and the whole explosion there, and talking to one of the officers, Brennan, and one of his brothers is in there because he fell into the whole thing with the Red Skull. And Steve, of course, is trying to console him with everything going on, talking about how his brother probably felt weak, and it's nice that they went into it with Steve being like, yeah, I felt the same way during World War II. I used the flag, used the badge. He fell into the internet and fell into the Red Skulls kind of thing. And it's interesting to see that he's doing the usual kind of troll ass shit that's usually on the internet that kind of speaks to some people and trying to give them some kind of purpose. Thing is, the Skull is using it for his own nefarious purposes and isn't helping these people whatsoever. Case in point, he didn't care that they got hit by this bomb, which is like deconstructing their cells as well. So it's like, holy shit, that's a fucking crazy ass dirty bomb. And it makes sense that a police officer in New York would be okay with Steve given his various kind of stuff that's going on around him, because he was a police officer when he got unfrozen at certain points, so he still has that good connection going on there. So that's kind of where he's going at, and just kind of like trying to be like, yeah, we'll help you, Cap. We'll help you try and get the skull and everything. He's like, all right, cool. And we shift over and we see a little bit of the Skull talking about his plans, and Steve trying to figure out how to pretty much track the bombs. Whereas the Skull is pretty much explaining that if you give a man a nightmare, he'll like kill for it. Because we're seeing two different kind of things. Steve tries to inspire people with the dream of what America could be. The Skull tries to inspire the fear of the nightmare that can become, and use that to motivate people to kill, as we see all the different various rallies with all the different factions that are sympathetic to his message around the country. And Steve, of course, is talking with Tony and the rest of the Daughters of Liberty to kind of figure out what's going on with this bomb. And Tony's like, I don't know exactly what's going on. This is like bending the laws of physics and everything. It's a dirty bomb, but even though I'm a genius, and Steve's like, yeah, you're a genius of geniuses, she doesn't know exactly what's going on here, so they need to call out outside help. That's where Agatha Harkness comes into effect. She's like, yeah, I'm kind of here on Coven business. Let me kind of look at here. And it's like, okay, I kind of got what you're going here. And evidently they were using a kind of enchantment that she had done, which hers was to be like a beacon of hope and help do morale. This has been pretty much turned to like harvest hate and negative energies, which falls into the Skull's MO, since even in this issue they're talking about how he tried to harness death energy to power the cosmic cube. So that kind of narrows things down. Agatha's like, no, this can't be. These are pretty specialized ways to build this kind of bomb, so you're going to be able to kind of track the suppliers, and they would pretty much put this at a kind of central location to kind of not a central location, but like a special location to do maximum amount to harvest energy. So we'll kind of have to see how that energy harvesting comes into the Red Skull's plan, because he wouldn't be doing it for no reason. That then brings them into figuring out and putting Sin into connection with all that, because Sharon and Misty and all of them were pretty much tracking everything down. So like, all right, Chicago seems to be the place. Sharon is pretty much scanning through with her armor, trying to look for the bomb, while Steve pretty much pounces on and kind of lays Sin out pretty effectively. But he's more concerned with saving lives than he is to make sure that Sin's down. So she tosses a knife that kind of drugs him, and her and her crew beat the crap out of him and record it and like broadcast it over the internet. Sharon, of course, then talks with him about like, Steve, this is pretty. We kind of had to deal with. He's like, I lost a fight. It's no big deal. And the thing is, it's not really like his ego or whatnot. Sharon's trying to impress upon him that the Skull is doing tactics of trying to kill an idea, pretty much, of Captain America and this idea of like a better America. And he's trying to talk about how we see him expounding upon this about like how you used to be conquerors and stuff like that, and now you're like caretakers, and that you're weak, and that women won't need to be summoned to battle, and all this kind of bullshit, and trying to give him on his vision. And Sharon rightfully puts out that like, yeah, he's trying to kill an idea, so our battle tactics have to be a little bit different. We have to stop their immediate kind of violence and everything like that, but we have to make sure that we don't get into a position that they keep losing and degrading the kind of trust in the idea of what Captain America represents. So I'm interested to see how that kind of like goes about, and how Steve kind of takes that into effect and tries to put an effective battle plan around that, because that means you have to have two different kind of strategies, because there's one strategy in taking down an enemy and fighting in a fair fight. It's another when their objective is not to do a fair fight at all, and it might be in some cases not even kill people, but to kill a certain other thing, like the idea of Captain America, in other various different ways. So we'll kind of have to see how this kind of ends out. I don't have a kind of clear idea of how this is going to finish out the run, so we'll kind of have to see from here. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.